Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, who is that person staring back at me? Maybe you see more wrinkles than you remember, or perhaps you notice that your body doesn't move quite as easily as it used to. It's natural to feel a bit disconnected from the image you see, especially as we age. But here's the thing, those lines on your face, they're not just signs of aging, they're a map of your life's journey. Each wrinkle tells a story of laughter, tears, triumphs, and challenges. And that body that might not be as spry as it once was, it's carried you through decades of experiences, and it deserves your respect and love. In a world that often celebrates youth and perfection, it's easy to feel like we're falling short, especially as we get older. But today, I want to share with you a different perspective on that embraces our imperfections and sees them as gifts. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore what it means to embrace our imperfections and how doing so can lead to a more fulfilling and joyful life, no matter our age. We'll talk about authenticity, self-compassion, and the power of connection. By the end, I hope you'll feel inspired to look at yourself with kinder eyes and to celebrate the beautiful, imperfect person that you are. So, stick with me until the end, because I promise you'll walk away with some heartfelt advice that can make a real difference. Let's start by understanding what authenticity really means. Brené Brown, a researcher who has studied these topics extensively, says that authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. For many of us, especially as we age, there's a lot of pressure to fit into certain roles or expectations. Maybe you feel like you should be the perfect grandparent, always baking cookies and telling stories, or the ever-patient spouse who never gets frustrated, or the wise elder who has all the answers. But the truth is, none of us are perfect, and that's okay. Embracing our authenticity means accepting that we are enough, just as we are. It means recognizing that our imperfections are part of what makes us unique and valuable. Think about it. If we were all perfect, life would be pretty boring, wouldn't it? It's our flaws and our quirks that make us interesting and relatable. I remember when I was younger, I used to beat myself up over every mistake I made. If I forgot an appointment or said something I regretted, I'd dwell on it for days. But as I've gotten older, I've learned that those mistakes are often the best teachers. They've helped me grow and learn more about myself. And I've realized that my imperfections are what make me, me. Maybe you have similar experiences. Perhaps there's something about yourself that you've always been critical of, like being a bit too talkative or not being as organized as you'd like. But when you think about it, that talkativeness might mean you're great at connecting with people, and that lack of organization might mean you're spontaneous and open to new adventures. Our imperfections often have a hidden strength if we look closely enough. Another important aspect is self-compassion. It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a good friend. When we make a mistake or face a setback, instead of berating ourselves, we can acknowledge that we're human and that it's okay to not be perfect. Brené Brown says, the core of compassion is acceptance. It's about saying, I'm not perfect, but I'm still worthy of love and belonging. For instance, if you forget someone's name at a family gathering or misplace your keys for the third time this week, instead of getting frustrated with yourself, you can say, it's okay, I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough. This small shift in how we talk to ourselves can make a big difference in how we feel. One way to practice self-compassion is through positive affirmations. These are simple statements you can repeat to yourself to shift your mindset from self-criticism to self-acceptance. Here are a few that might resonate with you. I am never a burden. I am a treasure of experience. Every wrinkle tells a story of laughter and wisdom. I embrace change with an open heart and open mind. Try saying these to yourself in the morning or whenever you're feeling down about your age or appearance. They can help remind you of your worth and the beauty of your journey. You might even write them down and stick them on your mirror as a daily reminder. Additionally, we can learn to see our weaknesses as strengths. Everyone has areas where they struggle, but those same areas can also be sources of growth and uniqueness. For example, Maybe you're not as physically active as you used to be, but that might mean you've learned to appreciate the quiet moments of reflection and rest. Or perhaps you sometimes feel like you're not keeping up with technology, but that could also mean you value face-to-face conversations and handwritten letters. By reframing how we see our imperfections, we can appreciate them more. It's like looking at a piece of pottery with cracks. Those cracks don't make it less beautiful. They make it one of a kind. Now that we've laid the foundation with authenticity and self-compassion, let's explore how these principles can help us in our daily lives and relationships. Before we continue, I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart if you could take a moment to like this video and leave a comment if you find it helpful. Your support means the world to me and helps this channel reach more people who might benefit from this message. Now, let's dive deeper into our journey of embracing imperfections. So far, we've talked about how authenticity and self-compassion are the foundations of accepting ourselves as we are. By letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we truly are, we open the door to a more fulfilling life. But did you know that this acceptance doesn't just transform how we see ourselves? It also has the power to deepen our connections with others and fuel our personal growth. When we embrace our own imperfections, it becomes easier to accept those of others. Think about it. If I'm hard on myself for every little mistake, like forgetting a name or misplacing my keys, I'm likely to be just as critical of others. But when I learn to be kind to myself, that kindness spills over into how I treat those around me. For instance, if I forgive myself for forgetting a name, I'm more likely to forgive a friend who does the same. This mutual understanding creates stronger, more genuine connections. It's like when you share a story about a time you tripped and fell in public. Suddenly, everyone has their own embarrassing story to share, and you all laugh together. That shared vulnerability brings people closer. One way to embrace imperfections in relationships is to accept that we're all human, and humans are messy. Brené Brown, whose work we've touched on before, says that connection is why we're here, and it requires vulnerability. When we show our true selves imperfections and all we allow others to do the same. This doesn't mean we have to bare our souls to everyone, but it does mean being honest about who we are. For seniors, this might look like sharing stories of past mistakes or current struggles with family or friends. Imagine you're at a family gathering, and your grandchild is feeling insecure about their appearance or worried about a test. Because you've learned to embrace your own imperfections, you can share your own experiences of feeling that way and how you've come to accept yourself. This not only comforts them but also shows them that it's okay to be imperfect. It's a beautiful way to pass on wisdom and build a deeper bond. Another benefit of embracing our imperfections is that it frees us from the fear of judgment. When we accept ourselves, we care less about what others think. This liberation allows us to live more authentically and take risks we might have avoided before. For seniors, this might mean trying a new hobby, traveling to a new place, or even speaking up in a community meeting. By letting go of the need to be perfect, we open ourselves up to new experiences and opportunities. It's like learning to dance without worrying about stepping on someone's toes. You might stumble, but you'll also feel the joy of moving to the music. Moreover, our weaknesses can often be our strengths in disguise. Maybe you're not the best at remembering birthdays, but that might mean you're great at celebrating in unexpected ways when you do remember. Or perhaps you're a bit forgetful, but that could make you more present in the moment because you're not always planning ahead. By reframing our imperfections, we can see how they contribute to who we are and how we connect with others. This is especially important as we age, when we might feel like we're losing our edge. But the truth is, our so-called flaws are often what make us unique and valuable. But embracing imperfections isn't always easy. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to show up and be seen without our armor. Brené Brown defines vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. It's that uncomfortable feeling we get when we step out of our comfort zones. Yet, it's through this vulnerability that we experience love, belonging, joy, and all the other emotions that make life worth living. For seniors, this might mean opening up about past regrets or current fears, which can be daunting but ultimately liberating. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite others to do the same. This creates a cycle of trust and intimacy that can deepen our relationships, whether it's with a spouse, a child, a friend, or even a caregiver. Of course, embracing our imperfections is easier when we're surrounded by people who accept us as we are. As we age, it's important to nurture relationships with those who value our authenticity. This might mean spending more time with family members who understand us, joining community groups where we feel accepted, or even seeking out new friendships with people who share our values. Remember, you deserve to be surrounded by love and acceptance. It's not selfish to prioritize relationships that uplift you. It's essential for your well-being. Ultimately, embracing our imperfections is an act of self-love. It's saying to ourselves, I am worthy of love and acceptance, just as I am. This self-love radiates outward, affecting how we interact with the world. When we love ourselves, we're better equipped to love others and to receive love in return. It's a cycle that enhances every aspect of our lives. So, by embracing our imperfections, we not only improve our relationships, but also open ourselves up to personal growth and fulfillment. As we continue this journey, let's remember that every step we take towards accepting ourselves is a step towards living our best life. Now that we've seen how embracing our imperfections can deepen our connections with others, let's explore how it can also lead to profound personal growth. As we age, we often gain a wealth of life experience, and with that comes the wisdom to see that perfection is not only unattainable, but also unnecessary. Our imperfections are what make us unique, and they are the very things that have shaped us into who we are today. For instance, one way to embrace our imperfections is to accept that we are human, and humans are inherently messy. It's okay to admit when we don't know something, or when we've made a mistake. In fact, doing so can make us more relatable and approachable to others. Think about a time when you shared a story about a blunder you made. Didn't it bring you closer to the person you were sharing with? That's because vulnerability fosters connection. Another powerful way to embrace our imperfections is to recognize that our weaknesses can actually be our strengths in disguise. For example, maybe you've always thought of yourself as forgetful, but that forgetfulness might mean you live more in the moment, appreciating each experience as it comes. Or perhaps you're not as physically active as you used to be, but that has allowed you to slow down and savor the simple pleasures of life, like a quiet cup of tea or a good book. Having a clear sense of direction can also help us embrace our imperfections. When we know what truly matters to use or values, our passions, we can walk confidently in that direction, even if we stumble along the way. It's like setting out on a journey. You might not know every step, but as long as you're moving towards your goal, the detours and missteps are just part of the adventure. And let's not forget the power of laughter. Learning to laugh at ourselves can be incredibly freeing. Think about those moments when you've tripped over nothing or forgotten someone's name right after they introduced themselves. Instead of feeling embarrassed, try to see the humor in it. Laughter can lighten the load and remind us that life is too short to take ourselves too seriously. I remember hearing about a woman in her 70s who always wanted to learn to play the piano. She was afraid she'd never be good at it, so she never tried. But one day, she decided to embrace her imperfection and signed up for lessons. She didn't become a concert pianist, but she found immense joy in playing, and it became a source of relaxation and creativity for her. Her story shows that it's never too late to try something new, and that the joy is in the doing, not in the perfection. Embracing our imperfections isn't just about accepting ourselves. It's about celebrating the full spectrum of our humanity. It's about recognizing that our flaws are what make us real, relatable, and resilient. As we age, this acceptance can bring a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. So, to recap, embracing our imperfections starts with authenticity, being true to who we are. It involves self-compassion, treating ourselves with kindness when we fall short. It deepens our relationships by allowing us to connect more genuinely with others, and it opens the door to personal growth as we learn to see our weaknesses as strengths and to laugh at our own foibles. Remember, You are enough, just as you are. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every forgotten name, they're all part of your beautiful story. Embrace them, and you'll find that life becomes richer, more joyful, and more meaningful. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. What's one imperfection you've learned to embrace? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more heartfelt advice. Your support means the world to me. Here's to embracing our imperfections and living our best lives, no matter our age. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.